nothing. 3 wars in 3 generations. They brought their armies, we brought our hammers.
I'm Dan Sutton, I'm the production team lead over at Volition, and you're watching Atomics. Absolutely. So in Red Faction Armageddon, you play as Darius Mason. He's the grandson of Alec Mason from Red Faction Guerrilla. And you kind of get this nice little epic journey with Darius. What happens is he's part of the Red Faction army, and he and some of his fellow soldiers investigate the terraformer of Mars. And what you're finding out is that this evil cultist leader of the Marauders has actually taken over and started to destroy it, and he's made the surface of Mars inhabitable. So what this has done is it's destroyed the surface. You've actually been driven underground, and now you have to build up your civilization underground. In Red Faction, you are going to fight a lot of new enemy types, and with this, you're going to fight the Creepers. The Creepers are the lowest level of enemies in the game. They're not that powerful, but the thing about them is they like to attack you in groups of 5, 10, 20 at a time, so they try to overwhelm you with numbers. We also have the Ravagers in game. The Ravagers are aliens that can stick to the walls, to the ceilings, and shoot you from long range. And we also have a lot of other bigger aliens in the game that can use destruction and use the world around you to take you down. And one of the final alien types we have is a Wraith. The Wraith basically stealths in and stealths out, so he can disappear and reappear and kind of shock you by appearing behind you and try to attack you by surprise. So one of the cool things in Armageddon is we've constructed the Nano Forge on the Darius. Now the Nano Forge was in Red Faction Guerrilla, but over the generations they refined it and made it a lot better. So what you see is you have this artificial intelligent unit named Sam on your arm, and not only can Sam talk to you and tell you what's going on, but also your powers are in that arm unit. And what you can do is not only tear down your entire environment around you, but you can rebuild around you. Now one of the cool things about the rebuild technology is that not only can you just destroy parts of the buildings or use them as weapons, but you can rebuild them back up and use them over and over and over again. So it's one of those cool things that not only can be used kind of as a gimmick, but also is integral to our gameplay. It's actually a mix of both. We're definitely an action-adventure game. There's no doubt about that in our mind. You'll see that because you also go back on the surface, you explore the surface of Mars, but you're forced underground too. So what you'll have is we have a lot more linear gameplay in this one. It's a lot less open world. You still do certain things like there's collectibles, there's a lot of things from Guerrilla, like a lot of the activities that you do that are actually in Red Faction Armageddon. But the thing is, we want to be able to tell a story a lot better, so we kind of put you underground, we put you in these more claustrophobic settings. You have some, scary survival horror moments where you fight the aliens, but for the most part, you're the badass in here. You're trying to kill hundreds and thousands of these enemies, so you'll go through and try to mow them down as quickly as possible. It won't be more of, on the edge of your seat type scary. Well, we're using Geomod 2.0. The thing is, though, we've really refined that again. Once again, like the destruction looks a lot more realistic, but on top of that, not only can you destroy everything there, but one of the enhancements we've done is that you can repair everything in our game as well. On top of that, too, one of the things that we look at is we see that Red Faction Guerrilla gave us this awesome technology, and now what we get to do is we get to play with it. So one of the cool things is we've tried to integrate that into all of our weapons. That's one of the big Geomod 2.0 upgrades. We have so many destructible weapons, so many cool things like the Singularity gun where you can shoot a black hole out into the environment. It sucks everything in and pushes it out. We have the Magnet gun where you can rip apart your world literally. Just a lot of really cool weaponry that we've added to this game. It's a massive world. It's not as big as Red Faction Guerrilla, but we still have a lot of open world type exploring areas that you can go through in this kind of linear gameplay. Can't tell you too much about that yet. We're going to reveal that a little later on, but we definitely have multiplayer. We also have a co-op multiplayer mode, and we definitely have some cool destructive playgrounds that we're giving people to for people who just like to mess around with our technology. On top of the Magnet gun and the Singularity gun, we also have some other cool weapons in the game. We have the Phase Plasma Cannon and the Phase Plasma Beam. Now the Phase Plasma Cannon, it basically shoots out this giant explosive that can go through 3, 4, 5 walls at a time, and then at the end it explodes and lets off all these little bomblets, basically, that can explode in the area around it. We also have the Phase Plasma Beam. The beam is basically like a laser. You point it at a building, you can slice buildings open, slice areas open. It's a really, really cool destruction weapon. And then on top of that too, with the Nano Forge, we have some really cool abilities as well. With the Nanoforge, we have Shockwave, which basically, if you go up to a group of aliens and hit it, it'll basically make them levitate in the air for a few seconds, and you can pick them off one by one. We also have Impact, where basically anytime during the game, you can push a wall open, you can push an area open, and it just recharges. So you have this cool kind of force push type thing that you can do throughout the entire game. I think with the Guerrilla series, we're really happy with the third person, only because we started off, believe it or not, Guerrilla as a first-person shooter. And the thing that we found out was people were getting killed by all this destruction that was happening around them. They couldn't see what was going on around them. And that's one of the reasons why we pulled it out, because we figured that, you know, people were becoming less frustrated. Plus, it actually showed you a lot more of the destruction you were doing. So I think with the Red Faction series, we're really happy with the third person right now, too. We were all first-person shooter fans. It was a hard choice to make, but, you know, it's one that we really feel is the right direction for the franchise. About the movie, yeah. So we're coming out with Red Faction Origins soon. If you played Red Faction Guerrilla, this takes place right between Guerrilla and Armageddon. You actually get to learn the story of Jake Mason, who's the son of Alec Mason, and also the father of Darius Mason, Red Faction Armageddon. And basically, you're gonna find out a lot about that. It's right now in production. We don't have too many details right now, but it's slated to come out in the next few months. Favorite weapon by far would have to be the Magnet Gun. The Magnet Gun just has, I can't tell you how many times that I've thrown that thing out there, thrown it at an enemy, thrown it at a building, and just laughed my ass off because it's so much fun to use. It's different results every time. It's just such a cool weapon.